Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into something really fascinating, expressing feelings in Indonesian.
Yeah, how people talk about emotions.
Exactly. We've got some Indonesian language lesson materials here,
Yeah.
vocab lists, sample sentences, some grammar points, and even a bit on culture.
Right.
And our mission really is to go beyond just like dictionary definitions. We want to get a real feel for how Indonesians actually talk about what's going on inside.
To equip you, the listener, with practical phrases, but also that deeper cultural understanding.
Because just knowing the word isn't always enough, is it?
Not at all. Resources often give you the word, but it's the use, the context. That's where the cultural insight lies. That's what we're digging for today.
Okay, great. So let's dive right in with a basic exchange from the notes. Picture this. Someone says, Selamat, bagaimana perasaan Anda?
Yeah.
And the reply, Saya sangat senang.
Right.
No, Selamat, you probably know that. Congratulations. Bagaimana perasaan Anda means, how do you feel?
Wow. The end of question.
And Saya sangat senang is, I'm very happy. But here's the thing, and it might jump out at you if you're coming from English.
The missing verb.
Exactly. There's no direct word for am there. It's literally, I very happy.
Yeah.
And this lack of a direct to be verb, it's a key thing we'll see more of.
It is. And what's interesting about that directness is how Indonesian often just relies on, word order and context.
Right.
In English, we absolutely need that linking verb, I am happy. But in Indonesian, saya senang, I happy. It's clear enough.
It's just more direct.
A more direct statement of the
Yeah.
feeling, yeah. You see it again and again with emotions.
It really makes you stop and think about those little connector words we lean on so much in English. Okay, so the notes give us a really good breakdown of feeling words. Let's start with the positive ones.
Sounds good.
We've got senang for happy. We just saw that one. Then there's riang. What's that like? More cheerful.
Yeah, cheerful, lighthearted, kind of happy. A bit different from just senang.
Okay. And semangat, energetic. That sounds quite, energetic.
It does. And semangat is interesting. It carries a bit more than just energy. It's also like enthusiasm, drive.
Okay.
You might even hear it shouted as encouragement, like, semangat, keep going.
Nice. And then there's bake. Fine or good. Seems like a useful all-around positive word.
Very common. Almost like our I'm okay or I'm good. A default positive response sometimes.
Got it. Okay, switching gears. The less pleasant side, negative feelings. Mara for angry, sere for sad. Those seem pretty direct.
Yeah, fairly straightforward equivalence there.
And then it gets a bit more nuanced. Sembu is jealous. Kisal, annoyed. That feeling when something's just irritating.
Exactly. Kisal is perfect for that. Not quite full-blown anger, just that simmering irritation, like you said, under your skin.
Right. Then Kisal, disappointed. That specific feeling of being let down.
Yeah, that one really highlights the role of expectations, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's not just sadness, it's sadness because something didn't meet your hopes.
True. And khawatir for worried. So that covers a good range of those tougher emotions.
It does.
Now, the notes also mention something interesting. Physical feelings that kind of double as mood descriptors.
Ah, yes, that connection.
Like ngantuk for sleepy, lapar hungry, house is thirsty, Kate tired, which, that definitely affects mood.
Absolutely. Being tired makes everything harder.
And malas for lazy. I mean, I definitely know my mood can tank if I'm suddenly really lapar or mengantuk.
For sure. These physical states are so tied to our emotional state. Saying, saya lapar, I'm hungry, it's not just physical. It might explain why you're grumpy or can't focus.
Yeah, very direct.
It's a very direct way to communicate the overall feeling, yeah.
Okay, so we have these basic feeling words, but what if you want to, dial the intensity up or down? Adverbs.
Rod fires.
Our notes highlight a few key ones. First, sangat, meaning very. We saw it in sangat, senang, very happy. And the notes point out something useful. Sangat, senang is a bit more formal.
Yes, slightly more formal settings.
Whereas in everyday chat, you're more likely to hear senang banget.
Right. Bandit also means very, but it's much more casual.
Wow.
Adds a real emphasis, a punch.
That contrast is important then for sounding natural.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Using bandit in the right context makes you sound much less like a textbook. It's like saying very pleased versus super happy.
Good analogy. Okay, then we have agak and sedikit. Both mean a bit or a little. So you could say agak marah or sedikit marah if you're just, a little bit angry.
Exactly.
And the notes say they're pretty much interchangeable.
Yeah, generally you can use either one. It simplifies things. They're your words for sort of downplaying it.
Moderating the feeling.
Right. You're not overwhelmed, it's just a mild feeling.
Yeah.
It allows for more nuance than just stating it full blast.
Makes sense. And the last adverb here is hanya, only, or just. Example, hanya cemburu, just jealous. But the useful thing is you can use hanya with most feelings, right?
Absolutely. It qualifies the feeling.
Like, dia hanya bosan, she's just bored. It kind of minimizes it.
Yeah, minimizes it or suggests it's the only thing going on. It can add perspective, like, don't worry, it's just this feeling.
So, a small word, but it does a lot of work shaping the tone.
It really does.
Okay. So we've got the words, the vocabulary, and ways to adjust them. Let's circle back to that grammar point, the missing to be.
Yes, the direct structure.
The notes really hammer this home. Pronoun, straight to the feeling word. So, saya mengantuk, literally I sleepy, means I am sleepy.
Correct.
Saya senang, I happy, for I am happy. Dia senang, she happy, for she is happy. It seems so straightforward.
It is quite streamlined for expressing states of being. You don't need to worry about conjugating a verb, changing its form.
Right, no am is are.
But the notes also give us dia sedang sedih.
Ah, okay. What does sedang do?
Sedang indicates something happening right now, at the moment. So she is sad at the moment.
So while there's no to be, they have other ways to show timing.
Exactly. Indonesian uses markers like sedang to convey tense or aspect when it's needed. The concept of being exists. It's just expressed differently.
Gotcha. And I noticed another little distinction. Saya malu means I am ashamed.
Yes, feeling shame in that moment.
But saya pemalu means I feel shy. Or maybe I am a shy person.
That's a great catch.
Yes.
Malu is the temporary feeling. Adding that P prefix often turns it into something more like an inherent quality or disposition.
So it shifts the meaning slightly.
It does. From a temporary state to a more general characteristic. It shows how prefixes work in Indonesian to create these nuances. Very useful.
Fascinating. Now, this being the deep dive, we always want to connect the language to the culture.
The bigger picture.
And the notes have this really interesting section on school awards in Indonesia. Specifically, Hari Guru National Teachers Day, November 25th.
Yeah.
It's a day for saying thank you to teachers, principals, all educators. Why is this relevant here?
Well, think about it. It's not just a casual thanks. It's a national day, specifically set aside to express positive feelings.
Gratitude, appreciation.
Exactly. Towards this whole group of people. It's a formal, structured, cultural way of expressing those positive emotions and valuing contributions.
And it sounds like quite a significant event. The notes mention this PTK Achievement and Dedication Award. And the requirements are pretty strict. Teachers need 8 years at the same school. Principals need 2.
Yeah, it speaks volumes about the kind of dedication they're recognizing. It's not a fleeting thing.
No kidding. And the hundreds compete. The ceremony is run by the Ministry of Education in Jakarta. It really underscores the importance placed on this formal appreciation.
It does. And if we tie that back to expressing feelings, this national event is a perfect example of how Indonesian culture creates these formal ways to show positive emotions like gratitude and publicly acknowledge things like dedication.
It gives context for why understanding these expressions matters in the society.
Precisely. That idea of format, respect, is huge. And showing gratitude to teachers fits right into that cultural value.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive on feelings in Indonesian. We've covered quite a bit. Lots of vocabulary, positive, negative, those physical ones.
The core words.
We looked at adverbs like sangat, bangit, agak, hanya for fine-tuning the intensity.
Getting the nuance right.
And that key grammar point, the direct structure, pronoun plus adjective, no to be needed.
Super important takeaway. That directness.
And we saw how a cultural tradition like National Teachers Day isn't separate from this. It actually shows us how the culture values and formally expresses positive feelings like gratitude.
Yeah, it connects the language of feelings to the real world practices within the society. It's not just individual expression, it's about how emotions are acknowledged socially.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. Think about that directness we talked about, saya senang, I happy. How might that way of stating feelings, without that intermediary verb, influence how Indonesians communicate emotionally compared to your own language?
Yeah, what might the subtle differences be?
And beyond Teachers' Day, what other cultural events or traditions in Indonesia might give us more clues about how a wider range of emotions are expressed and understood?
It's definitely a rich area to keep exploring.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully useful. Don't forget to like and subscribe.